You stand inside a universe that feels solid. Stars burn. Time flows. Gravity obeys. But beneath the glow, something is quietly unfinished. A structure pretending to be permanent. A floor that was never meant to hold forever. Imagine this, not an explosion, not an ending, not fire or darkness, but a condition. A silent checkbox in the architecture of reality. Already ticked. Already waiting. You look up at the night sky, and it looks calm. Galaxies spiral like ancient clocks. Light travels billions of years to touch your eyes, arriving tired but intact. Everything whispers the same lie. This will continue. But what if the universe is not resting? What if it is balancing? You are standing on something that feels like ground, yet offers no guarantees. A false floor stretched across infinity. Smooth. Convincing. Built so well that even time itself believes in it. Physics calls it a vacuum. Not empty space, but the lowest energy state of reality. The background hum beneath everything. The quiet note holding the cosmic core together. Except, what if it isn't the lowest? What if this vacuum is only pretending to be stable? What if it's a pause, not a foundation? You've lived your entire existence inside this pause. The air around you vibrates with invisible fields. They thread through your body, your thoughts, the atoms holding your name together. You don't feel them, just as a fish doesn't feel the water. But they are there. Constant. Absolute. And one of them, the one deciding whether matter has weight, whether stars can ignite, whether chemistry can remember itself, may be perched on a ledge. You don't hear a countdown. You don't feel a tremor. Because instability doesn't announce itself. It smiles. And waits. To understand the danger, you must abandon the idea that nothing is empty. Empty space is not silent. It seethes. It ripples. It boils with possibility. Particles flicker in and out of existence like thoughts you almost remember. Energy hums where no energy should be. This restless background is the vacuum, and it has moods. Think of it like a landscape hidden beneath reality. Hills, valleys, slopes invisible to your senses. The universe wants to roll downhill, toward lower energy, toward rest. Right now, it seems to have stopped. But appearances lie. You are not in the deepest valley. You are in a shallow one. A false vacuum. Picture a marble resting in a small dip on a mountainside. From where you stand, it looks stable. It doesn't move. It doesn't wobble. For billions of years, it sits there, convincing you it belongs. But below it, far below, is a deeper valley. A truer rest. A place the marble would fall to if it ever escaped the illusion of balance. The universe is that marble. Quantum physics whispers something unbearable. You don't need a push. No asteroid. No cosmic collision. No divine trigger. In the quantum world, probability breathes. Even stillness is alive with chance. And given enough time, or sometimes no time at all, the marble can simply appear on the other side of the ridge. A quantum tunneling. A spontaneous betrayal. If that happens, a bubble forms. Not of destruction, but of replacement. A new vacuum state. Lower, truer, incompatible. Inside that bubble, the rules change. The constants you rely on, mass, charge, the way forces talk to each other, are rewritten mid-sentence. Atoms forget how to be atoms. Particles lose the grammar that once made matter possible. The bubble expands at the speed of light. Not fast. Unstoppable. No signal outruns it. No warning escapes it. Causality itself cannot scream ahead. If it reaches you, there is no sensation. No flash. No final thought. You are not killed. You are invalidated. As if the universe looks at you and says, you were built for an older version. Movement 3. The escalation. This is not extinction. Extinction leaves fossils. Echoes. Radiation drifting through the dark. This is deletion. No debris cloud. No blackened stars. No scar in space-time to mark the loss. The bubble doesn't explode outward. It erases inward. It overwrites reality the way a new operating system overwrites a hard drive, cleanly, completely, without sentiment. The most terrifying part is not that it can happen. It's that it doesn't care when. The math doesn't give you a date. It gives you a shrug, a probability distribution stretched across eternity and also compressed into the next heartbeat. It could take longer than the lifespan of galaxies. It could already be on its way from a place you can never observe. Or it could begin nowhere. Right here. Between two quantum fluctuations. Between two thoughts. If it happens, you will not know. If it has already happened, you will never know. There is no memory after the event. No witness. The universe does not mourn versions of itself that fail to persist. And yet, you are here. Stars are still burning. The vacuum is still holding. The false floor has not cracked beneath your feet, which raises the paradox that keeps physicists awake at night, staring into equations like divination pools. If vacuum decay is possible, if nothing prevents it, if no warning precedes it, why does this universe still exist? Is it luck? Is it timing? Is there unknown physics silently bracing the floor? Or is this moment, this precise configuration of fields and forces, just a temporary exception, stretched thin across 13.8 billion years of borrowed stability? You are living inside a question mark. Every sunrise is a statistical victory. Every heartbeat is a roll of cosmic dice that landed on continue. The universe does not promise tomorrow. It does not promise the next second. It only promises that right now, the floor has not yet given way. And so you remain balanced on a reality that may not be real, trusting laws that might only be habits, breathing inside a pause that could collapse into something unrecognizable. The universe feels ancient, eternal, solid. But beneath that confidence is a tremble you can't feel, a decision that has not yet been made, or perhaps already has. Because if the universe can delete itself without warning, then stability is not the rule. It is the mystery. And the question is no longer whether the universe can end without notice, but what kind of universe builds conscious minds inside a structure so fragile and never tells them. You were taught that emptiness is quiet, a pause between things, a canvas before the paint arrives. But the universe never learned that rule. And one day, neither did you. You drift backward in time, not through galaxies or stars, but through ideas. Through chalk dust and late-night calculations. Through rooms where the lights never turned off because sleep felt less important than truth. This is the early 20th century. Physics still believes in silence. Empty space, they say, is nothing. A backdrop. A stage where the real drama happens. Particles colliding, stars igniting, planets forming. Space itself is innocent. Passive. That you inherit this belief the way one inherits gravity, unquestioned. But then, something twitches. In the equations, first. A term that refuses to vanish. A remainder that won't cancel out. Physicists try to ignore it, the way you ignore a noise in the walls at night. Probably settling. Probably nothing. Except it keeps happening. They begin to realize that when you strip the universe of everything, matter, radiation, heat, even light, something remains. A hum. Not audible. Not visible. But undeniable. Empty space is not empty. You stand inside it right now, surrounded by an invisible agitation. Fields stretching across reality like submerged oceans, their waves too subtle to feel, too fundamental to escape. This is the vacuum. And it is alive. The revelation lands slowly, painfully. Space is not a void. It is a medium. Every point in the universe is soaked in fields, quantum fields, each one responsible for a fundamental aspect of reality. One gives particles mass. Another governs electromagnetism. Others whisper the rules of the strong and weak forces, binding nuclei and rewriting elements inside stars. You don't see these fields, just as you don't see pressure holding your body together. But they are everywhere. Inside you. Through. Older than you. And they are restless. Even at absolute zero, when all classical motion should freeze, the vacuum refuses to sit still. It trembles with uncertainty. Particles flicker into existence and vanish again, borrowing time from the universe like thieves who always return what they stole, except the act of borrowing changes the room. This isn't emptiness. It's a storm held at bay by statistics. Physicists begin to describe vacuum energy not as absence, but as a sea. A dark ocean beneath reality's surface, its waves constantly rising and collapsing, its depths unexplored. And then comes the crack. They realize the ocean has depth. Not just one level, but many. The vacuum, it turns out, has states. Like valleys in an unseen landscape, some higher, some lower. Some shallow enough to escape. Some so deep that once you fall in, you never climb out. This is where the unease begins. Because the universe, the entire observable cosmos, appears to be resting in one of these valleys. But no one is sure it's the deepest one. At first, the idea feels abstract, mathematical, a curiosity buried in symbols. But then the analogy forms, simple and devastating. Imagine a marble on a mountainside. It has rolled down into a small dip, a hollow in the rock. From here, it looks stable. It doesn't move. It can stay there for years, centuries, millennia. An observer might swear it has reached its final resting place. But the mountain continues downward. Just beyond the ridge, unseen from this angle, lies a far deeper valley. The marble is not safe. It is merely paused. The universe, you begin to suspect, is that marble. This is the moment when physics stops feeling comforting. Because stability, you learn, is not binary. Things are not simply stable or unstable. There is a third state, more treacherous than either. Metastable. Stable enough to last. Unstable enough to fail. The universe appears calm because it is trapped in a shallow well of vacuum energy. The fields are arranged in a configuration that works. Stars form, atoms bind, chemistry remembers itself long enough for life to notice it exists. But below this arrangement is another, lower, quieter, more efficient, a truer rest. And quantum mechanics allows transitions between states without warning. No shove is required. No cosmic disaster. No external force. Probability itself is enough. At any moment, the vacuum could rearrange. A spontaneous shift. A microscopic region deciding, without reason, that it prefers the deeper valley. A bubble would form. Inside it, the fields settle into their new configuration. Their lowest state. Their true vacuum. And that bubble would not stay small. It would expand. Not pushed by force, but pulled by inevitability. The energy difference between states would drive its growth outward, swallowing space as it goes, converting old reality into new. At the speed of light. You would not see it coming because the information that it exists cannot outrun its expansion. The bubble would reach you at the exact moment you become incompatible with the universe. No pain. No fear. No final image burned into memory. The laws of physics you rely on would simply stop applying. Your atoms would not explode. They would fail. As if the instructions holding them together were suddenly written in a language the universe no longer recognizes. This is not destruction. This is revision. And now the question sharpens, unbearable in its simplicity. If the vacuum has lower states, if transitions are allowed, if nothing forbids the fall, why hasn't it happened? Why has the marble not rolled? You look around, at galaxies still glowing, at space still stretching, at time still advancing one fragile second at a time. The universe seems ancient, patient, confident, but age does not guarantee safety. Longevity does not imply permanence. A metastable state can last for moments, or for eternity, without changing its nature. The universe may have survived 13.8 billion years not because it is safe, but because probability has not yet blinked. You are not standing on bedrock. You are standing on chance. Somewhere in the early universe, perhaps during its violent birth, perhaps during a cooling phase when fields froze into place, reality chose this configuration, this shallow valley, this particular arrangement of laws. But choice implies alternatives, and alternatives imply a past decision or an accident. So the unease lingers. What event shaped the vacuum into this fragile form? What ancient roll of cosmic dice placed the universe in a position that works, but might not last? Because to understand whether the floor beneath you can collapse, You must first understand how it was built. And that means returning to the moment when the universe decided what it was allowed to be, and what it would one day become if it ever slipped. You thought the universe was held together by rules, by promises written into the fabric of space. But somewhere between equations and doubt, a new thought appears. Quite unwelcome. What if nothing is guaranteed to last? You enter a room heavy with confidence. Chalkboards line the walls, scarred by decades of certainty. Equations march across them like soldiers, precise, obedient, eternal. Physics, for centuries, has been a cathedral of law. Gravity pulls. Light bends. Energy is conserved. Cause precedes effect. The universe, you were told, may be violent, but it is reliable. Then the heresy arrives. Not as a shout, but as a whisper buried in calculations. A suggestion that refuses to be erased. A conclusion no one wants to circle in red. What if the universe does not owe you a future? You feel the discomfort immediately. It settles into the room like a cold draft. Scientists shift in their chairs. Papers are rechecked. Assumptions revisited. Surely this is a mistake. A misapplied model. A flaw in approximation. Because physics is supposed to explain how things happen, not suggest that everything could end for no reason at all. A cosmos that can simply fall? That sounds like mythology. Like superstition wearing equations as a disguise. You can almost hear the resistance forming, not angry, but uneasy. A collective tightening of grip around the idea of stability. The universe cannot be a gamble. Can it? The backlash is subtle at first. No protests. No dramatic rejection. Just a quiet refusal to accept the implication. Vacuum decay, some say, is just mathematics running ahead of meaning. A trick of perturbation theory. An artifact of incomplete understanding. After all, physics has been wrong before. Ether, epicycles, absolute time. Why not this? Because the alternative is unbearable. A universe without a guaranteed future breaks something deeper than equations. It fractures trust. For generations, physics has offered a pact. Learn the laws, and the universe will behave. Predictable. Consistent. Eternal enough to build civilizations on. Vacuum decay tears that pact in half. It suggests that laws are not anchors, but habits. That stability is not enforced, only maintained. That the universe persists not because it must, but because it hasn't stopped yet. This feels sacrilegious. Decay without cause violates intuition carved into the human mind. Every collapse should have a trigger. Every disaster a reason. We can accept explosions, collisions, heat death. Those have narratives. But spontaneous annihilation? A universe erased by probability? That sounds less like science and more like cosmic blasphemy. And so the debates ignite. In conferences and journals, voices sharpen. One side insists the math is clear. Metastability is not speculation. It falls directly out of quantum field theory. The equations don't flinch just because the conclusion is uncomfortable. The other side pushes back. They argue that unknown physics must intervene. Some deeper principle. A stabilizing mechanism yet to be discovered. Supersymmetry. New particles. Hidden dimensions. Something, anything, to lock the vacuum in place. Because surely the universe cannot be this careless. You watch the arguments collide like tectonic plates. Not loud, but relentless. Each paper a careful strike. Each rebuttal a measured defense. And beneath it all, an unspoken fear. If vacuum decay is real, then time itself offers no protection. This is where the idea becomes truly dangerous. Not emotionally, existentially. You have always believed that survival accumulates. That the longer something exists, the safer it becomes. Mountains feel eternal because they have not moved in your lifetime. Stars feel permanent because they have burned longer than your species has spoken. But metastability does not care about history. A system can last billions of years and still be moments away from collapse. Duration is not proof. Age is not armor. The universe could have balanced on this false floor since its birth. Every galaxy, every thought, every memory forming atop a condition that has never been secure. And the fact that it has not fallen yet tells you nothing about when, or it will. This is the chilling implication that finally breaks through resistance. Stability is not guaranteed by time. There is no cosmic reward for endurance. No safety earned through longevity. The vacuum does not become more secure because it has behaved itself for eons. It is either stable, or it is not. And all signs suggest it is not. You feel the ground beneath physics begin to soften, not literally but philosophically. If the universe itself is contingent, then certainty is an illusion. Prediction becomes conditional. Confidence becomes provisional. Even causality feels less rigid now. Because vacuum decay does not wait for cause. It does not announce intention. It does not require permission. It simply happens, or it doesn't. And there is no law compelling it to choose one over the other. The discomfort spreads outward beyond theory. If the universe can end without reason, then meaning is no longer protected by inevitability. Survival is not promised. Progress is not guaranteed. Existence is not reinforced by the structure of reality. You are not living inside a fortress of laws. You are living inside a truce. And truces can break. This is why the idea feels heretical, not because it challenges physics, but because it challenges the comfort physics once provided. The universe was supposed to be dangerous in visible ways. Supernovae, black holes, gamma ray bursts screaming through space. Those threats can be mapped, avoided, survived. Vacuum decay cannot. It does not target. It does not miss. It does not care where you are. If it comes everywhere it touches. You sense the unease settle permanently now. The debates continue, but the tone has shifted. Less dismissal. More caution. The idea has survived too many attacks to be ignored. It lingers like a hairline crack in a dam, thin, almost invisible, but impossible to forget once seen. Because if the universe can fall, if all of existence rests in a metastable state, then something must be holding it up, or delaying the fall, or distracting probability just long enough for stars to burn and minds to wonder. And that thought, more than the decay itself, demands an answer. So you stand at the edge of a deeper mystery. The universe appears stable, but appearances have already betrayed you once. The equations allow collapse, yet collapse has not arrived. Which means one of two things must be true. Either there is a hidden principle, unknown, unseen, quietly reinforcing reality from beneath, or this moment, right now, is simply the universe still holding its balance. The marble has not rolled. Not yet. And the question that now echoes through physics, through philosophy, through the silent vacuum itself, is unavoidable. If the universe can fall, what keeps it standing right now? You float inside a universe that has weight. Not heaviness, presence. Every atom knows how hard to pull on the next. But the source of that knowing is invisible. And it has been whispering something you were not meant to hear. You do not feel mass. You feel its consequences, the ache in your bones when you stand, the way planets curve light, the way stars ignite instead of dispersing into nothing. Mass feels natural, inevitable, like a property the universe was born with. But it wasn't. Mass had to be given. You drift downward into the quiet machinery beneath reality, into a field that fills all of space without ever announcing itself. An ocean with no surface. No waves. No horizon. The Higgs field. You are swimming in it right now. Every particle in your body drags through it, like a hand moving through thick water. Some particles feel resistance and slow down. Others pass through untouched. That resistance, nothing more, is what you call mass. Without this field, electrons would move at light speed. Quarks would refuse to bind. Atoms would never form. Stars would fail before they were born. The universe would be a featureless blur of radiation. The Higgs field is not decoration. It is permission. For decades, physicists suspected it existed not because they saw it, but because reality behaved as if something was there, something invisible, uniform, omnipresent. A ghost ocean holding everything in place. And then, finally, in a machine buried beneath the earth, smashing particles together at energies that mimic the early universe. They found it. The Higgs boson. The field's trembling signature. The moment feels triumphant. Champagne pops. Headlines celebrate. A missing piece clicks into place. The Standard Model, the crown jewel of modern physics, feels complete. You can almost hear the universe sigh, relieved to have been understood. But understanding has consequences. And numbers, once measured, do not care about your relief. The Higgs boson has a mass of its own. A precise value. A number etched into reality as deeply as the speed of light or the charge of the electron. And when physicists calculate what that number means, not symbolically but cosmically, the celebration falters. Because the Higgs field does not just give mass. It also shapes the vacuum. Its value determines the energy landscape of empty space itself, those invisible hills and valleys you now know the universe can rest upon. And the Higgs mass places us in a troubling position. Not at the bottom, not at the edge, but in between. The equations whisper a verdict that feels almost cruel in its precision. Our vacuum is metastable, not doomed, not safe, balanced. The Higgs field appears to be sitting in a configuration that works, but not one that is guaranteed to last. The numbers say there is a lower energy state available, a deeper valley, a truer rest. The universe has not chosen it. Metastability becomes the most dangerous word in cosmology not because it predicts destruction, but because it refuses certainty. It tells you that collapse is allowed, but not scheduled. The universe is not falling, but it is not secure. Picture a glass balanced at the edge of a table. It has been there for 13.8 billion years. Long enough for galaxies to form, collide, and fade. Long enough for life to rise on at least one small planet and wonder why the sky exists. The glass has not moved, but its position has never changed. One vibration, one random nudge, one quantum fluctuation passing through the wrong configuration, and gravity will finish what probability began. This is where the Higgs whisper turns into a murmur of dread, because the Higgs field is not isolated. It interacts with other fields, especially the top quark, the heaviest known particle, a brute that drags heavily on the vacuum stability. The precise masses of these particles matter. Tiny changes, fractions of a percent, would place the universe safely in a stable vacuum. But they don't. They place us just outside. Close enough that the universe could persist longer than any star. Close enough that vacuum decay might never occur within observable time. Or close enough that it could happen tomorrow. The Higgs does not tell you when. It only tells you that the door is unlocked. This is not prophecy. It is not doom. It is worse. It is conditional existence. You begin to understand why physicists grew quiet after the discovery. Why papers turned cautious. Why phrases like, probably safe, entered a field that once spoke in absolutes. The Higgs boson did not just complete the Standard Model. It destabilized the idea of permanence. Because if the field responsible for mass itself is metastable, then everything that depends on mass, atoms, chemistry, memory, thought, is perched atop a temporary arrangement. The universe feels solid because the glass has not fallen. Not because it cannot. You imagine the cosmic scale of this balance. Every galaxy rotating smoothly. Every star fusing hydrogen into light. Every thought forming in a brain built from particles slowed just enough to matter. All of it depends on the Higgs field staying exactly where it is. And nothing, in principle, forces it to stay. The universe is not held together by bolts. It is held together by position. A field sitting where it happens to be. That realization sharpens into something personal. You are not standing on certainty. You are standing on a cosmic coincidence that has lasted long enough for you to notice it. The glass does not know it is near the edge. The Higgs field does not feel precarious. It simply is. And that is what makes the question unbearable. If the vacuum were truly unstable, the universe would have already fallen. If it were truly stable, there would be no fear. But metastability lives in the space between, where survival does not imply safety, and endurance does not equal protection. The Higgs boson did not bring reassurance. It brought clarity. and clarity revealed a universe that may be living on borrowed balance. So you stare at the glass, still upright after billions of years, and wonder what forces could possibly disturb it. What vibration could reach into the Higgs field and tip it into a deeper state? What event, natural or inevitable, could knock the universe off its edge? Cosmic rays? Inflationary remnants? Quantum fluctuations older than time itself? Or something stranger, something woven into the universe from the beginning, patiently waiting for the right moment? Because the Higgs has spoken, and its message is not comfort. It is a warning whispered softly beneath all mass. The universe is balanced, not secured. And the next question is no longer whether it can fall, but what could finally make it slip. There is no fire at the end of everything, no scream, no collapse of stars, just a quiet rewrite mid-sentence. Reality blinks and forgets how to continue. You expect endings to be loud. You imagine sirens in the sky, gravity tearing itself apart, stars flaring like wounded gods. You imagine time slowing, light stretching, a final warning written across the heavens. But the universe has no taste for drama. When vacuum decay begins, it does not announce itself. It does not ripple the stars or darken the sky. There is no omen you could recognize, no disturbance large enough to touch your senses. Somewhere, anywhere, a region of empty space decides to be something else. Not because it was pushed, not because it was damaged, but because, in the quantum world, stillness is never absolute. You are standing in a room that looks unchanged. The air is calm. The laws of physics feel familiar. The universe feels solid beneath your feet. And then, without sound, without motion that you could track, a point forms. A bubble. Infinitesimal at first. Smaller than an atom. Smaller than meaning. A microscopic rebellion against the way reality has always been arranged. This bubble is not made of matter. It is made of decision. A choice taken by the vacuum itself. To understand what this bubble is, you must abandon the idea that reality is fixed. The laws of physics you know, gravity's pull, light's speed, the masses of particles, are not etched into the universe like commandments. They are properties of the vacuum you inhabit. Side effects of fields resting where they do. Change the vacuum and the laws change with it. Inside the bubble, the vacuum has fallen into a lower energy state. A deeper valley in the invisible landscape beneath existence. This is not destruction. It is replacement. Inside this new vacuum, the fields rearrange themselves. Their values shift. Their relationships fracture. What once fit together no longer does. Particles that depended on the old configurations suddenly find themselves homeless. Electrons lose the rules that told them how to orbit. Quarks forget how to bind. Forces that once balanced delicately now overpower or vanish entirely. Matter, as you understand it, cannot survive here. Atoms don't explode. They don't burn. They simply fail to assemble. Like words written in an alphabet that no longer exists. This bubble is not hostile. It is indifferent. And it is expanding. The expansion is not driven by pressure or force. There is no shockwave pushing outward. The bubble grows because the universe prefers this lower state. Energy is released not as heat or light, but as inevitability. The boundary of the bubble moves at the speed of light. Not nearly. Not eventually. Exactly. Nothing outruns it. No signal can warn you because warning requires information, and information cannot travel faster than the boundary itself. Causality is trapped behind the front line of erasure. If the bubble forms a billion light years away, you will never know it existed. If it forms a meter away, the result is the same. Distance does not grant mercy. The universe does not give you time to react. Now you understand why this ending is so terrifying. There is no moment of realization. You do not look up and see the sky changing. You do not feel your body unravel. You do not experience fear. Consciousness itself relies on the same physical laws that are being overwritten. The instant the bubble reaches you, the processes that make thought possible no longer function. Neurons cannot fire. Chemistry cannot proceed. Time, as you experience it, does not get a final tick. You are not aware of dying. You are simply no longer compatible with the universe. This is why vacuum decay is not extinction. Extinction leaves a before and an after. It leaves silence where sound once was. It leaves ruins. Vacuum decay leaves no after for you. There is no universe where you are gone and something remembers you. The bubble does not pass through space like a storm leaving destruction behind. It replaces space. The region it touches becomes a different version of reality, one in which your history never had a place to exist. From the inside, there is no horror. From the outside, if outside even has meaning, there is only a rapidly expanding absence of everything you recognize. The stars inside the bubble do not dim. They are never stars to begin with. Their nuclear reactions cannot occur. Their matter cannot assemble. The sky inside the bubble is not dark. It is undefined. You try to imagine it anyway. You imagine standing on Earth, feeling the ground beneath your feet, hearing the wind, watching clouds drift. Everything feels ordinary, familiar. Then, without transition, the universe rewrites the rules that allow standing, feeling, and watching to exist. There is no flash of white. There is no black. There is nothing your mind can hold onto long enough to register loss. The bubble does not kill you. It prevents you from ever having been able to survive within it. And this is the deepest horror of all. Not that the universe ends, but that it ends without acknowledging you. The speed of light becomes an executioner here. It is the ultimate limit that once protected causality, ensuring that effects follow causes, that information arrives too late to change what has already happened. Now that same limit ensures your ignorance. By the time the bubble's boundary reaches you, there has never been a moment in your past light cone when knowledge of it could have arrived. There is no possible universe in which you see it coming. The phrase, "by the time you know," becomes meaningless, because knowing requires time. And time does not survive the transition. You begin to understand why physicists speak of vacuum decay in hushed tones. Why they hesitate to call it an apocalypse. Apocalypses reveal. This conceals. This is a universe that deletes itself locally, cleanly, without residue. A cosmic editing function that does not leave comments. And worse, there is no natural defense. No shield. No technology. No distance. You cannot hide from a change in the rules of existence itself. If the bubble forms anywhere within your future light cone, your fate is already sealed, even if the event has not yet happened in your time. From a certain perspective, it has always been happening. And yet, the universe continues. Stars burn tonight. Galaxies rotate. Life evolves. You are here, listening to this thought, held together by laws that have not yet betrayed you. The bubble has not formed. Or it has formed so far away that its future has not intersected yours. Or probability has simply not chosen this moment. The universe does not explain which. It never will. So you are left suspended between two truths. 1. The universe can end without dying, rewriting itself without violence, without witnesses, without memory. 2. It has not done so yet. Which means this reality, this version of physics, this fragile arrangement of fields, is still holding. For now. And the question that opens next is unavoidable, pressing, and far more unsettling than the mechanism itself. If vacuum decay needs no cause, if it can begin anywhere, if it travels too fast to be seen, then what, if anything, could ever trigger it? Or worse, what if it doesn't need to be triggered at all? Numbers should have been calm, neutral, obedient, but these ones tremble, balanced between survival and collapse. As if the universe itself hesitated while choosing them. You once trusted numbers. They felt colder than fear, purer than belief. When stars lied, numbers corrected them. When intuition failed, numbers remained, sharp, precise, indifferent to hope. Modern physics is built on this faith. Detectors buried under mountains. Accelerators stretching for kilometers. Instruments so sensitive they can hear particles whispering as they are born and destroyed. The universe reduced to digits, uncertainty squeezed until nothing but truth remains. And the truth, it turns out, is uneasy. You watch as physicists refine their measurements, again and again, shaving errors thinner than atoms. Each improvement feels like progress. Each decimal place another step toward certainty. But with every refinement, the numbers refuse to drift toward safety. They cluster, uncomfortably close, as if reality itself has chosen values that live on a cliff's edge. The Higgs mass, the top quark mass, the vacuum energy woven through empty space. Each one measured independently. Each one governed by different experiments, different assumptions, different machines. And yet together, they tell the same story. Not stable. Not doomed. Balanced. You lean closer to the data, and it begins to feel like standing over a canyon. The Higgs boson's mass is not arbitrary. It determines how the Higgs field curves the energy landscape of the vacuum, how deep the valley is where reality currently rests. The top quark, massive and unruly, pulls on that landscape like a gravitational weight, distorting the shape beneath everything. Vacuum energy, faint but omnipresent, sets the background tension of space itself, like the tightness of a drum skin stretched across the cosmos. Change any one of these values slightly, and the picture transforms. A lighter top quark? The vacuum becomes stable. A heavier Higgs? The universe settles safely into a deep valley. A small adjustment, fractions of a percent, the tiniest shift imaginable, and the cosmos locks itself into permanence. But the numbers don't shift. They hover, just outside the region of safety. The calculations place our universe in a metastable zone so narrow it feels deliberate. A sliver between eternal stability and inevitable collapse. You try to picture it visually. Imagine a vast, invisible map beneath reality. Mountains and valleys sculpted by fields you cannot see. The universe has rolled into a dip that is shallow, narrow, and perfectly positioned so that it can hold, but only just. Too perfect. Too precise. If these numbers were random, they should scatter. Some universe is safe. Some catastrophically unstable. Most lifeless. But ours? Balanced like a coin standing on its edge. This is where coincidence begins to feel like a word of surrender. Physicists do not like coincidences. They smell like missing explanations. Like a deeper layer refusing to reveal itself. Why should independent constants align so precisely? Why should the universe sit exactly where survival is possible but not guaranteed? Some call it luck. Others call it selection. The idea that only universes balanced this way ever produce observers capable of noticing the balance. But even that explanation feels thin, because the margin is so small. Not just small, surgical. The data does not scream danger. It whispers it. A quiet statistical discomfort that refuses to go away no matter how many times the experiments are repeated. The universe, it seems, is not comfortably alive. It is narrowly alive. Then comes the question of time. If the vacuum is metastable, how long does it have? The equations offer ranges so vast they feel almost mocking. The decay could take longer than the lifetime of all stars combined. Longer than protons take to forget themselves. Longer than the universe has already existed by factors so large they blur into abstraction. Trillions upon trillions of years. A future so distant it feels safe. And yet, the same equations allow something far more disturbing. Vacuum decay is probabilistic. It does not wait politely for averages to play out. It does not schedule itself according to expectation. It could happen early. It could happen late. It could happen now. The probability per unit time may be small, but it is never zero. And zero is the only number that would offer comfort. You realize the trap. Long expected lifetimes feel reassuring only because you confuse expectation with guarantee. But probability does not accumulate safety with patience. Every moment is a fresh roll of the same cosmic dice. The universe does not get safer because it has survived so far. It only gets older. And age is not armor. You feel the tension sharpen here, where mathematics meets mortality. If the decay were guaranteed tomorrow, fear would be simple. If it were guaranteed in 1 trillion years, indifference would be easy. But uncertainty is the cruelest position. The universe offers no deadline, no countdown, No horizon of relief. Just numbers that say, possible. And that possibility never expires. This is why the data feels wrong. Not incorrect, but unsettling. Because it strips away the illusion that time is a shield. Civilizations rise believing tomorrow is implied. Species evolve assuming the stage beneath them will remain intact long enough to matter. But the data says the stage itself may be temporary. That stability is not a law. It is a circumstance. You imagine the universe as a grand performance, lights blazing, actors confident, the audience absorbed. Behind the curtain, a single thread holds the scenery in place. The thread has not snapped, but you now know it exists. And knowing changes everything. Because every sunrise becomes statistically remarkable. Every quiet night sky a victory over chance. The stars shine not because they must, but because nothing has yet gone wrong at the deepest level of reality. The numbers do not promise they will keep shining. They only say they have so far. And this is the final unease the data delivers. Physics once aimed to remove mystery, to replace fear with understanding. But here, understanding sharpens fear into something colder, cleaner. Not panic. Vigilance. You live in a universe that works. But the measurements say it works barely. Just enough. So you stand before the numbers, and they do not comfort you. They stare back with quiet indifference, balanced on a knife's edge that does not care whether you are watching. The universe may last longer than imagination allows. Or it may end between one heartbeat and the next. There is no moral. No warning hidden in the data. No preference encoded into probability. Only this final truth, humming beneath every calculation, every star, every thought you form while listening. Probability doesn't care about comfort. And the question that follows is inevitable. If chance alone governs the fate of everything, then why has the universe been so lucky so far? Truth fractures under too much light. Certainty splinters into factions. The universe offers no verdict, only silence. And in that silence, even scientists begin to argue about whether survival means safety or something far colder. You step into a battlefield without weapons. No shouting, no broken glass. Just conference halls, late-night emails, chalkboards erased and rewritten until the dust settles like ash on the floor. This is where physics turns inward. For centuries, the universe felt like a puzzle with one solution. You gather data. You refine equations. You converge toward truth. Agreement was not guaranteed, but it was expected. Now that expectation has collapsed. The numbers refuse to settle. The vacuum refuses to reassure. And so the scientific world fractures, not loudly, but decisively, into camps. You can feel the tension in the air. Not hostility. Because this argument is not about elegance or taste. It is about whether reality itself is quietly counting down. Camp 1 speaks first, and loudly. They say vacuum decay is real. Not hypothetical. Not philosophical. The equations allow it. The measurements permit it. Nothing in known physics forbids it. To deny vacuum decay, they argue, is to deny the mathematics that built modern reality itself. To them, metastability is not a warning. It is a sentence. The universe is living on borrowed time, whether that time is long or short. They don't predict panic. They predict inevitability. You hear their argument like a cold wind. Everything that can fall, eventually does. The universe is no exception. Camp 2 pushes back, gripping hope with white knuckles. They insist something is missing. Physics, they remind everyone, has been incomplete before. The standard model is powerful, but not final. It does not include gravity. It does not explain dark matter. It does not tell you why the constants have the values they do. So why trust it with the universe's fate? They argue that unknown physics, new particles, new symmetries, deeper layers, will stabilize the vacuum. That metastability is an illusion caused by ignorance. To them, vacuum decay is a mirage at the edge of understanding. A shadow cast by equations stretched too far beyond their domain. The universe, they believe, has a safety net. It always has. Then comes Camp 3, unsettling in a different way. They don't deny vacuum decay. They embrace it. They speak of the multiverse, an endless foam of universes bubbling into existence, each with its own laws, its own constants, its own fate. In this picture, vacuum decay is everywhere. Universes die constantly. Entire realities blink out without ceremony. Ours is not special because it is stable. It is special because it is survivable. You exist here not because this universe is safe, but because unsafe universes never produce observers to ask the question. To Camp 3, your survival is not reassurance. It is selection bias. You are standing in one of the few rooms where the lights stayed on long enough for someone to notice the wiring was faulty. And then there is Camp 4. They are quieter. They publish less. Speak carefully. Pause before answering questions. They suspect something more disturbing than vacuum decay. They suspect that the entire framework, fields, vacua, energy landscapes, is incomplete in a fundamental way. That the very language used to describe stability and decay may be wrong. To them, metastability is not a prediction. It is a symptom, a sign that reality, at its deepest level, is being misunderstood. That the equations are pointing toward a truth they cannot yet articulate. They do not claim safety. They do not claim doom. They claim ignorance. And that, somehow, feels the most terrifying of all. Now you stand in the middle of this civil war, and the silence grows heavier with every unanswered question. No one agrees. The loudest voices contradict each other with equal confidence. The data does not pick sides. The universe offers no clarification. Each camp has arguments sharp enough to cut certainty to pieces. Camp 1 says denial is wishful thinking. Camp 2 says doom is premature. Camp 3 says survival proves nothing. Camp 4 says the question itself may be malformed. And beneath it all runs a shared unease. Because none of them can say, with honesty, that the universe is safe. The best they can offer is probability, speculation, and hope, thin shields against an existential unknown. You realize something subtle and profound here. Science has not failed. It has done exactly what it was meant to do. It followed the evidence wherever it led, even when it led to a cliff edge. The most chilling realization emerges not from any single camp, but from the space between them. If vacuum decay were impossible, physics would have already ruled it out. If it were guaranteed, the universe would likely already be gone. The fact that you are here, listening, thinking, wondering, this does not confirm safety. It confirms survivorship. And survivorship can lie. Airplanes return from battle riddled with bullet holes, and engineers once reinforced the wrong places, forgetting that the missing planes told the real story. You may be standing in a universe that returned from cosmic battles simply because the ones that didn't never left evidence behind. This reframes everything. Stability may not be a property of this universe. It may be a filter. Only universes balanced just right, on the knife's edge between chaos and collapse, persist long enough to grow complexity. Long enough for stars. Long enough for life. Long enough for you. Not safe enough to last forever. Just safe enough to notice the danger. And this is why the debate refuses to end. Because it is not merely about equations. It is about meaning. If survival is evidence of selection, not safety, then existence itself becomes provisional. Beauty becomes temporary. Progress becomes fragile. You are not living in a universe protected by laws. You are living in one that has passed an invisible test, so far. The test continues. Every moment, the scientific civil war does not resolve. It cannot, because the universe has not yet revealed which camp is right. And it may never do so, at least not in a way that leaves witnesses behind. So the arguments persist, echoing through journals and minds, sharpening with every new decimal place of precision. And through it all, one thought grows colder, clearer, impossible to unthink. What if survival itself is not evidence of stability, but of selection? What if you are not protected by the universe, but merely living in one of the few versions where protection lasted long enough to ask the question? Because if that is true, then safety is an illusion born from hindsight. And the next mystery is no longer about whether the universe can end, but whether countless others already have. Silently. Instantly. Without ever knowing they existed. Beyond the horizon you will never reach. Creation does not slow, it multiplies. Birth and death happen without witnesses. You exist not in silence, but in the brief pause between screams. You drift outward, away from familiar stars, away from the gentle illusion that the universe is a single, coherent place. Space stretches thinner here, like breath held too long. Time loosens its grip. Cause and effect begin to blur at the edges. This is where eternal inflation begins. Not as an explosion, not as a bang, but as a relentless, unstoppable swelling, space itself reproducing, budding, tearing, spawning new regions faster than light can stitch them together. Creation without restraint. Growth without memory. You are not moving through space anymore. Space is happening to you. Every direction blooms into new universes, each sealed off from the others, each carrying its own rules like genetic mutations. Some are stillborn, too chaotic to form atoms. Some collapse instantly, crushed by their own constants. Others ignite briefly, flash with structure, then tear themselves apart. And somewhere, impossibly, one of them holds you. In this endless reproductive frenzy, vacuum decay becomes something else entirely. Not a rare catastrophe. A weapon. Quantum bubbles nucleate spontaneously, tiny seeds of altered reality forming without cause, without warning. Inside them, the laws of physics rearrange themselves like broken bones set wrong. Forces misalign. Particles lose their identities. Meaning dissolves. These bubbles do not expand politely. They consume. At the speed of light, they devour the universe they are born into, rewriting everything they touch. No shockwave announces them. No precursor tremor. The moment they arrive is the moment everything ends. From the outside, if outside even applies, they look like cosmic assassins. Silent, perfect, unstoppable, and eternal inflation provides endless targets. Universes bloom. Universes die. Fin. You begin to understand the horror, not as spectacle, but as scale. This is not one fragile universe at risk. This is an ocean of realities, most of them dead. You do not see their remains. There are no ruins floating in space. No echoes. No fossils. Vacuum decay leaves no survivors, no memory, no trace that anything was ever there. A universe erased by vacuum decay is not destroyed. It is overwritten, like a sentence erased midword, replaced by a language that never knew the original existed. The multiverse does not mourn. It simply moves on. In this picture, your universe is not special because it exists. It is special because it has not yet been erased. Not because it is strong, but because it is lucky. You imagine it now, not as a majestic cosmos, but as a thin, fragile bubble drifting through an invisible minefield. Each mine is a decay event waiting to happen. Each second that passes without impact feels less like stability and more like mercy. You are an ant on that bubble. You do not see the mines. You cannot predict them. You cannot outrun them. All you know is that none have detonated here. The dread sharpens when you realize how little separates existence from oblivion. No dramatic apocalypse. No cosmic collapse visible from afar. No warning written in the stars. If vacuum decay comes, it does not arrive to you. It arrives as you. Every particle, every memory, every story you tell yourself about the universe, rewritten before a single neuron can register fear. You will not feel pain. You will not see light. You will not have time to understand. From your perspective, the universe simply never continues past the next instant. And the multiverse does not notice. This reframes the question that once felt so comforting. Why is our universe the way it is? Maybe it is not tuned for life. Maybe life is what happens in the narrow windows between annihilations. Most universes never get that window. Some get it briefly, just long enough for matter to clump, stars to burn, complexity to flirt with existence. And a vanishingly small number get enough time for consciousness to arise and ask why everything feels so precarious. You may be standing on borrowed time that spans billions of years. But borrowed time is still borrowed. The cosmic horror is not that the universe might end. It is that endings are routine. That annihilation is common. That reality itself is disposable. You are not living in a cathedral built to last forever. You are living in a temporary structure erected amid constant demolition, where survival is an accident, not a promise. The multiverse graveyard stretches infinitely beyond you. Universes that never stabilized, universes that decayed instantly, universes that almost made it. Almost. And still, against all odds, you are here. Thinking. Feeling. Listening. This does not mean you are chosen. It may mean you are standing in one of the few safe clearings in an otherwise lethal landscape. A clearing that can vanish without notice. The unsettling thought settles in quietly. If eternal inflation is real, if vacuum decay is possible, if most universes die young, then the silence you observe when you look out into the cosmos is not emptiness. It is absence. A cemetery without headstones. So you linger on the edge of a terrible question, one that refuses to let go. Are you rare because the universe is special? Or are you rare because most universes never survive long enough to wonder if they are? Because if the multiverse is a graveyard, then existence itself may be a temporary anomaly. A flicker between erasures. A brief permission to be conscious before the next rewrite begins. And the next mystery waits patiently in the dark. If destruction is so common, what, if anything, is protecting this fragile bubble? Right now? No fire in the sky. No trembling ground. No final sentence spoken aloud. Just a moment, and then the moment never finishes. You fall back toward Earth. Not as a meteor. Not as a god. As yourself. The universe narrows from the cathedral of galaxies to a pale blue. From spiraling arms of stars to a thin atmosphere clinging desperately to a spinning rock. Clouds drift like slow thoughts. Continents breathe beneath oceans. City lights flicker, tiny constellations pretending permanence. Nothing looks wrong. The sun rises on schedule. Waves break where they always have. Somewhere, a child laughs. Somewhere else, someone closes their eyes to sleep. Data moves through fiber optic veins. Time keeps its rhythm, tick by tick, dissolving empires with perfect indifference. There are no alarms in the sky. That is the cruelty. Because if vacuum decay comes here, it will not arrive with spectacle. It will not announce itself with thunder or fire or prophecy. It will not darken the horizon or split the ground beneath your feet. There will be no apocalypse aesthetic. There will only be normal. Right up until normal ends. You imagine the last ordinary moments, not because they are dramatic, but because they are not. A breath halfway inhaled. A sentence halfway formed. A memory halfway recalled. Your world does not shatter. It simply stops continuing. The horror is not death as you understand it. Death implies transition. A before and an after. A body left behind. A silence that follows sound. Vacuum decay offers none of these courtesies. When the bubble arrives, the laws that allow atoms to exist, the delicate agreements between forces, fields, and particles, are rewritten instantly. Electrons forget how to orbit. Quarks forget how to bind. The chemistry that makes thought possible forgets how to be chemistry. This does not feel like pain. Pain requires time. This does not feel like fear. Fear requires anticipation. This does not even feel like nothing. Nothing requires awareness of absence. What happens instead is erasure. Consciousness does not fade. It is interrupted. Myself. You do not experience the end. The end experiences you, and then replaces you with a version of reality in which you were never there to begin with. From the inside, there is no moment of realization. From the outside, there is no outside left to observe. The universe simply fails to include the next frame. This is what makes vacuum decay uniquely terrifying. It does not kill you. It deletes the conditions that ever allowed you to be a valid concept. No soul drifting. No echo. No final image burned into the dark. Just a cut. A hard cut. As if the film of existence snapped and the projector kept running, showing a universe that never had you in the cast. You try to imagine the instant it happens. You can't. Your imagination is bound by time, and vacuum decay outruns causality itself. By the time light could warn you, the warning has already been overwritten. By the time information could reach your brain is no longer a permitted structure in reality. The universe does not slow down to let you understand. It does not explain itself. It does not apologize. So the terror sharpens into something more intimate. Right now, as you listen, as you breathe, as your mind reaches for meaning in a cosmos that may not guarantee the next second. What if it happens here? Not somewhere distant. Not in a galaxy whose light will never reach Earth. Not in a far future so abstract it feels fictional. What if it happens now? In this quiet, unremarkable moment. There would be no collective gasp. No final shared awareness of doom. No humanity standing together at the edge of time. Because togetherness requires continuity. And continuity is exactly what fails. Everyone is erased individually, yet simultaneously, each consciousness cut off without knowing it was about to be cut. History does not end with a chapter. It ends midward. You begin to understand the deeper cruelty. If today were the day, if this second were the second, you would never know it was the day. There would be no closure, no farewell, no meaning extracted from the ending. Every story you tell yourself about the universe, about progress, destiny, survival, would simply never resolve. Not tragically, not heroically, just unfinished. This raises a question that feels almost unbearable. Would you want to know? If some oracle could tell you with absolute certainty that vacuum decay would occur today, would you choose awareness? Would you want the countdown? The knowledge that every mundane act would be your last mundane act? That every conversation would be the final one, not because it ends, but because it never gets to finish? Or is ignorance the final mercy in a universe capable of erasing itself without explanation? The question lingers because it has no correct answer. Knowing would not help you escape. Not knowing does not protect you. Agency dissolves in the face of inevitability. You are left with the most unsettling realization of all. Your existence is not secured by vigilance, virtue, or understanding. It persists by coincidence, by probability, by the fact that, so far, the cosmic dice have not landed on zero. And yet, you are still here. This breath completes itself. This sentence reaches its end. This moment continues into the next one, not because it must, but because it has. And in that fragile continuation, a final silence gathers, heavy, unresolved, humming beneath every thought. Because the scariest ending has no ending at all. No blackout. No farewell. No final note held long enough to be remembered. Just an abrupt absence, where even the absence is erased. And the next mystery waits in that silence. If the universe can delete itself without warning, why hasn't it yet? What invisible thread, if any, still holds reality together? Right now? Imagine a cosmos that forgets. Not slowly, not in fragments, but all at once, perfectly, silently. A universe that erases its own history, leaving nothing to witness that it ever was. You drift through familiar constellations. Galaxies stretch like frozen tides, spinning in a silence so deep it presses against your ears. Stars burn with the patience of billions of years, their light obediently following the rules you trust. Yet beneath this calm surface, the ground of reality trembles. Not visibly, not audibly, but in the fundamental constants that hold matter together. If vacuum decay occurs, it will not sweep across the universe with fire or thunder. It will arrive like an editing hand rewriting a manuscript, deleting paragraphs without leaving ink, erasing chapters as if they were never conceived. The night sky, the atoms in your hand, the pulse in your veins, all will be remade according to a new set of rules. You look for warning signs. You watch for cracks in the cosmos. There are none. No tremors in space-time, no flicker in the stars, no signal from distant pulsars to tell you that existence is about to rewrite itself. The universe does not announce its own replacement. It quietly prepares to overwrite everything that once was. The mechanics are deceptively simple. A quantum bubble forms spontaneously in the vacuum. a seed of a new reality. Inside it, the Higgs field may reconfigure. Forces align differently. Particles lose their identities. Chemistry forgets itself. The laws of physics you depended on for thought, for sight, for life, are no longer valid. This bubble expands at the speed of light. It does not push, pull, or sweep. It replaces. By the time it reaches any point, the local universe is no longer recognizable, not because it has been destroyed, but because it has been rewritten from first principles. You try to imagine what this would feel like. Not pain, not fear, not loss. Those require continuity, memory. Continuity itself is gone. There is only transition. A hard, absolute transition where what existed ceases to be meaningful, even in theory. Even time may falter. The succession of seconds, the relentless ticking that has always dissolved empires and civilizations, may itself be rewritten. What you perceive as before may vanish entirely, leaving a present with no past and a future that is inconceivable. You think of Earth. Cities crumble under ordinary human time, empires fade, stories get lost. But all of that is traceable. Archaeologists find bones. Satellites find ruins. Photographs capture shadows. Vacuum decay leaves nothing. No ruins. No radiation. No echoes. No record that you ever existed in any meaningful sense. You begin to understand the scale of the horror. It is not annihilation as you know it. It is non-existence for everything that remembers existence. Imagine a library containing every story, every equation, every image, every thought. Then imagine the library rewritten in an instant. Every shelf reordered. Every book removed. Every sentence reformulated. The catalog itself disappears. No trace remains that the library ever existed. That is what vacuum decay does, not to matter alone, but to memory, to time, to reality itself. Now you feel it personally, not as a distant cosmic scenario, not as an abstract probability equation. All the moments you consider permanent, the sunrise you watched, the kiss you remembered, the words you whispered, become provisional. Every interaction, every story, every observation is fragile. They persist only so long as the underlying rules allow. And those rules can vanish in an instant. The universe, rewritten, will not mourn you. It will not acknowledge you. It will not even know what it has lost, because loss requires continuity, and continuity may itself be dissolved. You try to anchor yourself in thought. You try to say, I exist. But even existence is defined by the rules you now realize are contingent. A new bubble, expanding silently, could overwrite those rules. The I that speaks to itself may never be written into the new reality. And then the question surfaces, unbidden and cold. If nothing remembers you, if no particle, no photon, no record, no time itself retains a trace of your life, did you ever happen? The horror is not the end. The horror is the possibility that the end is meaningless. You think of civilizations that rose and fell long before you. You think of stars that burned brightly and are now gone. You think of planets orbiting suns you will never see. Their stories, like yours, are subject to erasure at the deepest level. Even the universe that birthed you may be provisional, a fragile note in a manuscript that can be rewritten without ceremony. And the very notion of permanence, of memory, reveals itself as an illusion. You try to find comfort in mathematics, equations, constants, probability, but they are the architects of your erasure. They tell you what is possible, what is likely, what is inevitable. And the inevitable is precisely this: a cosmos capable of removing itself without leaving evidence, leaving not even a memory of its own existence. Time itself is suspect. Cause and effect may not survive. Sequences may unravel. Your sense of linear progression, the arrow from past to future, is a fragile scaffold above an abyss of unknowable potentialities. And in that abyss, you confront the ultimate question. If the universe can rewrite itself, and all memory can vanish, can anything you know ever be said to have happened at all? You stand alone in this revelation, and the silence that follows is heavier than any sound you have known. The universe might continue to hum with stars and galaxies. It might feel familiar, coherent, safe. But the truth lies beneath, invisible, a fragile script waiting to be rewritten, a cosmos without memory, a reality that can replace you, entirely and without trace. And in that quiet, the next question waits, lurking. If nothing remembers us, then what does it mean to exist at all? A mystery without witnesses. A universe without memory. And perhaps, a you that never truly happened. You rise above the surface of Earth, above its spinning oceans and flickering lights. Stars stretch endlessly, indifferent and brilliant. Galaxies drift like frozen fire, unhurried and unconcerned. The cosmos does not watch. It does not judge. It simply is, vast, silent, and eternal. You leave behind the fragile bubble of your personal fears, the dread of endings too close to name. The cities, the forests, the mountains, they shrink beneath you, petty and exquisite in their brevity. Time here is slower, yet infinitely larger. The tick of seconds that governed empires now dissolves into the hum of cosmic ages. You feel it, a liberation from urgency, a surrender to scale. The Milky Way stretches, its spiral arms curling like rivers of light over the abyss of space. Other galaxies shimmer, countless and unconcerned, each oblivious to the fact that you exist to observe them. You realize the first truth of cosmic perspective. The universe neither notices nor cares. It does not applaud survival, nor punish failure. It simply continues, indifferent to existence or erasure. Even vacuum decay, the ultimate rewriting of reality, is not personal. It does not target humanity specifically, nor does it wait for cosmic vengeance. It occurs because the quantum rules allow it. Nothing more, nothing less. And in that realization, a strange calm begins to take hold. You imagine humanity, with its fears of fire and flood, of disease and extinction. For millennia, survival meant meaning. Empires rose with the assumption that the cosmos would abide, that tomorrow would resemble today, that permanence could be counted on. Vacuum decay dismantles this assumption. Stability is not guaranteed. Survival is a temporary condition. The rules that allowed galaxies to form, planets to orbit, and life to arise are provisional. Your species, your civilization, your personal story, all contingent. The constants that undergird the cosmos could shift in an instant. And when they do, the universe will not mourn, record, or even acknowledge the shift. Yet, paradoxically, this is not despair. It is clarity. Meaning is not a product of permanence. The universe does not need to remember you. The stars do not owe you a narrative. Existence itself is a fleeting miracle, a chance occurrence against improbable odds. You float amid the cosmic ocean, understanding that relevance is temporary, yet real while it lasts. Every thought, every act, every observation is a brief spark in the void, but a spark nonetheless. Galaxies will collide, stars will die, and yet, for now, the sparks remain. You are one of them. You feel the universe differently, not as a stage set for human drama, but as a vast, indifferent canvas on which the improbable dance of life and thought briefly illuminates patterns that might otherwise never exist. The mathematics you trusted, the vacuum bubbles that threaten, the precise measurements of particles, all of it forms a system that is astonishingly fragile. You marvel not at the danger, but at the fact that complexity exists at all. That consciousness can arise, notice, and even wonder at its own place in this cosmic architecture. This is the true miracle. You see the Earth again, tiny and fragile in the vast expanse. No cosmic hand preserves it. No deity safeguards it. No destiny guarantees it. Yet here it is. And here you are. Meaning does not come from permanence. It comes from recognition. From experience. From the brief illumination of existence in a universe that does not care. You push further, into the abyss between galaxies. You imagine the multiverse graveyard, the endless inflation, the universes erased before they can observe themselves. You feel the terrifying beauty of a cosmos where survival is accident and relevance is ephemeral. And still, even in this awareness, you recognize a quiet, profound courage. To be conscious in a reality that may not continue. To marvel at patterns that may not persist. To love, to create, to think, knowing that nothing guarantees your presence beyond this moment. You sense how tiny, how temporary, and how spectacular you are. The cosmos imposes no narrative, but your observation writes one, however fleetingly. The stars may burn without knowing your name. Galaxies may spiral without acknowledging your thought. But in your awareness, for a brief span, the universe has meaning. Vacuum decay may arrive tomorrow, or not for trillions of years. Your existence, your history, your memory may dissolve or persist. Yet all that is irrelevant. Not because it is meaningless, but because it is human. Meaning has never required the cosmos' approval. You drift further still, feeling the hum of cosmic time stretch beyond comprehension. You sense the temporary nature of every structure, every law, every life. And you understand the lesson the universe has been offering silently, patiently, for 13.8 billion years. Relevance is not a gift from the stars. It is created in the act of observation, in the decision to care, to notice, to marvel. It exists only while it is held in consciousness, yet that is enough. Even the possibility of erasure, the threat of being undone, is part of the same miracle. It frames the brilliance of now. It sharpens the wonder. The impermanence of the cosmos does not diminish your experience. It defines it. You pull back one last time, gazing at the universe in its full indifference. Galaxies spin. Stars burn. Time flows. And in one small corner, a planet hosts consciousness, curiosity, and fleeting understanding. Survival is temporary. Memory is fragile. Meaning is provisional. Yet the act of noticing, of being aware, of thinking and feeling, is eternal in its own way, suspended in the heart of impermanence. The universe does not need to care. It does not need to remember. It does not even know that you exist. And yet, in your awareness, meaning exists. And as you hold that truth, the next mystery quietly stirs in the void. If survival is temporary and relevance fleeting, what does it mean to truly witness the cosmos before it forgets itself again? You stand on the edge of the unimaginable, where the cosmos stretches beyond all comprehension. Every star, every galaxy, every particle vibrates with impermanence. Yet here you are, thinking, breathing, noticing. Existence, fleeting as it is, refuses to be quiet. You fall backward through the tapestry of space, past spiraling galaxies and the silent hum of interstellar voids. The universe does not pause for you. It continues its indifferent dance, each atom moving with precise obedience to laws that may themselves be provisional. You glance down at Earth, tiny and fragile in the infinite black. Rivers shine like veins of light. Cities flicker with life's fleeting defiance. Mountains rise stubbornly, oceans lap tirelessly, clouds drift like slow dreams. Everything persists in exquisite temporariness, caught in a delicate balance on a cosmic false floor. And yet, the thought lingers. This floor is not guaranteed. The laws that support it could change in an instant. A quantum bubble could appear anywhere, rewriting reality, erasing every trace of existence with perfect efficiency. You shiver at the scale of what could happen, and at the simplicity of what does happen. Life, consciousness, love, curiosity, it persists anyway. Against the odds, against the silence of eternity, it persists. You think of all the chapters that brought you here. Of quarks and Higgs fields, of vacuum energy and metastability, of universes born and erased in quiet oblivion. You think of civilizations that will never know themselves, of stars that flickered briefly and vanished without a trace. And through it all, a single thread ties you to this moment: awareness. Consciousness, fragile and improbable, persists like a spark in the void. It doesn't need permanence. It doesn't need guarantee. It only needs this instant. The universe might delete itself tomorrow, or never. The multiverse may be a graveyard of realities you will never perceive. Time itself may unravel, laws may fracture, matter may forget its own nature. Yet, even knowing all this, you exist here, now, noticing it. And in noticing, meaning arises, not eternal, not written in the stars, but defiant, audacious, immediate. Every heartbeat, every thought, every act of observation is a small rebellion against oblivion. It is proof that impermanence cannot suppress experience. That wonder can bloom even atop a foundation that might not hold. You imagine love, fleeting and unrecorded. You imagine music, art, laughter, moments so fragile they barely touch memory. And you realize that their value lies precisely in their temporariness, in their vulnerability to the indifferent void. The universe might not care. It might not remember. It might not even exist tomorrow in the way it does today. But right now, consciousness happens. Right now, meaning is being forged. You feel the weight of scale pressing in. Galaxies stretch across light years like silent, luminous rivers. Time runs not in seconds, but in eons. Stars live and die, black holes gorge themselves on cosmic matter, and planets drift like fragile marbles in a sea of probabilities. And you are here, observing, breathing, thinking. All of existence is precarious, provisional. Every structure, every law, every constant is a negotiation between chaos and improbability. Yet you and everything you love and everything you know exist within that improbable window. That realization sharpens the miracle of now. If vacuum decay is possible, if universes are born only to vanish without trace, then this moment, right here, is astonishing. Every glance at the stars, every thought about your place in the cosmos, every heartbeat is an echo of defiance. You feel it, the terrifying beauty of impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing guarantees continuity. Nothing promises that tomorrow will exist. And yet, this moment does exist. Even the smallest acts, speaking, creating, loving, are extraordinary. A gesture, a thought, a question becomes significant because it occurs in a reality that could vanish at any instant. Not permanent, not recorded, not immortal, just alive, defiant. The cosmic false floor trembles beneath all you know, and still, you dance upon it. The universe may be indifferent. The laws may change. Time may unravel. And yet, in that impermanence, there is beauty. There is wonder. There is meaning forged purely from the act of noticing. You drift back one last time, gazing at the cosmos in full scale. The Milky Way coils like a luminous question mark. Other galaxies shimmer silently, unconcerned with your existence. Black holes curl light into oblivion, and quasars burn with furious indifference. Yet here you are, conscious, observant, alive. The universe may delete itself at any moment. It may rewrite every law, erase every atom, and leave no memory of your existence. And still, in this instant, consciousness occurs. And you understand, finally, the most poetic truth of all. If the universe can end at any moment, then every moment it hasn't is a miracle. You hold that miracle in your awareness, fragile and brilliant. And the echo of it lingers, long after the stars fade, long after the void might swallow all. Existence is fleeting. Meaning is provisional. But while it persists, it shines. The stars spin silently. Galaxies drift, indifferent and eternal. You breathe, aware of your brief spark against the vast darkness. The universe may forget you, rewrite reality, erase memory itself, but for this instant, you exist. Every heartbeat, every thought, every act of observation is a rebellion against oblivion. You are a witness, a participant, a fleeting marvel in a cosmos that does not notice. And so you carry this truth with you. Impermanence does not diminish wonder. The fragility of existence only makes it more extraordinary. If the universe can end at any moment, then every moment it hasn't is a miracle. Hold it, feel it, live it.